back to school. Good afternoon. Here's the first pitch from David Hale. It is in there for a strike on Curtis Granderson. He's had a big month of August. He has 19 RBIs in August. And the 0-1 from Hale is just off the plate, 1-1.
I want to note about this pitching staff. First pitch strikes, and you mentioned strike one for David Hale. 44 of 98 first pitch strikes. That's well below average. That's needs to be much higher. In the series against the New York Mets so far in the first two ball games.
Here's something interesting. The the Rockies had never played a 14-9 game in their history. No game had ever ended. That's inside. 3-1 had never ended 14-9. All back in '93. Win or lose.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, never. Those two numbers never factored. And now back-to-back days, the Rockies have lost 14-9 to the Mets. That's in there. 3-2. 21 hits yesterday for New York. They've had 37 hits to go with the 28 runs, and that's ball four. Not how anybody wants to start. So Granderson goes down to first. 12 doubles in the series, 6 home runs for Terry Collins' bunch. Here's the Southwest batting order for Collins. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Yoenis Cespedes is batting second in this lineup. Daniel Murphy will bat third. Juan Uribe, he swung it well. He'll bat cleanup. Kelly Johnson, Wilmer Flores, 3 hits yesterday, 5 for 10 over the 2 ball games. Michael Conforto, the rookie, back in there in left field. Anthony Recker, big strong kid playing behind the plate. Shift on for Cespedes. You know what he did 2 nights ago when he went 5 for 6 with 3 home runs, a double, drove in 7. Yesterday he was 2 for 6 with an RBI. The first 5 in the order for the Mets all hit 6 times in a 9-inning game. The first 3 on Friday night hit 6 times in a 9-inning game.
Well, about this ball club, since July 25th, the Mets have led the National League in runs scored, 144, doubles 63, home runs 42. Naturally, RBIs with 140. They have swung the bat. That's all since July 25th, almost a month.
And with the exception of the move to pick up Tyler Clippard to handle the 8th inning, most of the moves by Sandy Alderson were directed to help what had been an anemic offense.
It's done it.
Well, certainly Cespedes has been a big part of that. 340 over his last 10 games, 5 home runs. Listen, this guy's always delivered. I know he's played for several teams now since coming from Cuba, but he produces extra base hits in a flurry of them typically. 59 extra base hits is 4th best in Major League Baseball.
One thing about this shift that you're looking at with the whole left side over, one thing it does create, hard hit ball to Nolan or Descalso, you got to allow time for DJ to get to the bag as he plays on the shortstop side to turn the double play ball.
One ball, 2 strikes on Granderson, or excuse me, on Cespedes. Granderson at first walked on 5 pitches. The Mets have never swept the Rockies in Denver.
That's what Drew was talking about. The Mets longest active win streaks against the Rockies. They won 10 straight. They visit the Phillies tomorrow.
That's the longest active win streak, one team over another in baseball. There goes Granderson, swung on and missed. The throw to second is not going to get him. That's the 11th stolen base for Granderson on the strikeout of Cespedes.
First and foremost, if you're a catcher, you got to obviously catch this hard slider down and away from you, and he does that. To throw a big, huge jump by Granderson, not much of a chance.
Here's the Rockies defensively. Parker Blackman and Gonzalez. Daniel Descalso for Jose Reyes at short today. Dustin Garneau's doing the catching. Nick Hundley left the game yesterday. We thought it may have just been this ball's driven. I'll get back to that in a second. Deep center field, and it is going to be off the base of the wall. And Murphy will drive home Granderson with a stand-up double. That ball was tattooed. 1-0 Mets.
50 RBIs for Murphy. Now the Mets are 16 for 31 with runners in scoring position over the last 2 ball games, and it carries over here. The Mets hitting .342 with 76 RBIs with runners in scoring position this month. They add to that total now with this big double out to dead center field off the bat of Daniel Murphy. As a team, they're 19th in the big leagues, hitting .251.
Juan Uribe at the plate. Nick Hundley got hit by a foul tip in the mask and
really rattled the cage, so to speak. Not a good thing. I mean, that's a direct shot to the forehead if you see it here on the slow-mo.
And that's why he didn't continue last night. Now, I don't think he would have been catching anyhow today, day game after night game. I think Walt would have gone with Dustin Garneau. See how he checks out tomorrow when the Rockies get to Atlanta.
Well, on the other side of that, you do have an emergency third catcher with McBride. He's been behind the plate.
Absolutely.
The Mets 44-17 when they score first this year. I mentioned the runners in scoring position. Last night they were 11 for 21.
Uribe homered last night. Everybody in the Mets lineup, position player wise, had a multiple hit effort. I guess when you have 21 hits, you spread it out. He went 2-2. I was watching before that pitch, George. Charlie Blackmon, who shaded toward right center, was using his hands to move Kyle Parker, I believe, a little bit in left.
They got a big gap in left center field now. The breaking ball, an opportunity for Uribe to hit and run some extra bases right now.
Good pitch. Slider gets Uribe 2 outs. Second strikeout for Hale, and that'll bring up Kelly Johnson. Hale and Johnson, both former Atlanta Braves. Oh, by the numbers, the last 2 games, 64 combined hits, 46 combined runs. The 2 teams have combined for .390 batting average, and you want to catch 659 pitches thrown.
That's where Hale has really done a nice job. 2 outs, runners in scoring position this year. They're 3 for 18, 167 average.
Said it last night. How often do you score 18 runs and you lose 2 games by a total of 10 runs? Two's popped up and out of play. Johnson, like so many of the Mets, has done big damage against the Rockies this year. He's 11 for 26, a .423 batting average against Colorado. He and Uribe were part of the first wave of trades to help the offense coming from Atlanta. And of course the big one offensively was the acquisition of Cespedes.
And everywhere he goes, their ball clubs seem to win. His offense kind of coincides with it. Oakland won an awful lot. They traded him and just fell off right at the very end last year without Cespedes in their lineup.
And that ends the inning. Hill strikes out Johnson. There was a walk to Granderson. He came home on a Murphy double. 1-0 New York. Town Toyota stores. Let's go places. Buy clean, crisp Coors Light, and by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Mets got a run in the first on the Murphy double. Charlie Blackmon to lead things off for the Rockies. Let's glance at the rest of their lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. DJ LeMahieu with Jose Reyes sitting out initially will be in the 2 spot in the lineup. Then Cargo, Arenado, and Paulson. Kyle Parker will play left field. Daniel Descalso at shortstop batting 7th, and Dustin Garneau batting 8th. Logan Verrett is on the hill making a spot start for Matt Harvey, who will get pushed to tomorrow.
He's pitched very, very well, too, out of their bullpen. He's a young man that was Rule 5 picked out of the Met organization by Baltimore. Claimed at the start of the year by Texas. Texas gave him back to the Mets. He's got a pretty illustrious career at the minor league level. 32 and 15 with a 386 earned run average. Impressive numbers to me is what he did in the Pacific Coast League a year ago. He went 11-5, 162 innings, second in the league. 28 starts was the most. 11 wins was third most.
27-year-old. And that was a line shot to center field, and that was picked up on a hop by Cespedes. So a lead single for Charlie Blackmon.
Well, I thought that had triple written all over when I saw him dive for it. Tell you what, pretty good athletic move by Cespedes in center field. When he came in on this baseball, I think he thought he was going to be able to catch it. Short hopped right into the glove. Risky play early in this game.
That gives Charlie a 9-game hitting streak. DJ takes a strike. Verrett, his arsenal very similar to David Hale's.
It is. Slider changeup. Fastball majority of the time. At 90.6 is what it's averaging. He will cut the ball occasionally. It's a circle change that he throws to the plate, and he'll rely on the slider and the sinker to try to get the ball on the ground, as he would here. 1.6 walks per 9 innings in the PCL a year ago. A guy that he'll pound the strike zone typically. Good look at that hard slider for a strikeout against the Dodgers. Gets Puig to chase one. He's done a nice job coming out of their bullpen. Not sure how far they expect him to go today. I would think around the 50 pitch mark max. He hadn't been stretched out much.
Outside, LeMahieu 0 for 5 yesterday. DJ set career highs in virtually every offensive category this year. Runs, hits, certainly batting average if it stays anywhere near what it is. RBIs. He's tied his career best with the 18 stolen bases.
I know you agree with me, Drew, but he's a fun guy to watch play the game. He doesn't grab a lot of headlines with home runs.
He's a winning player.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it. He's a winning player. I mean, he does a lot of the little things that never show up in a box score, moving runners over, making the play up the middle. Overshadowed defensively, I'm sure, by Arenado on all the moves he makes at third. DJ, a Gold Glove winner himself.
Hopefully he collects another also. Three bags for Blackman as he's chased back to first. I think I said Verrett was 27. Hale's 27. Verrett's 25.
Third round pick by the Mets out of Baylor. All-State as a wide receiver on his high school team. Went 18-0 his senior year. That's a lot of games, isn't it?
And in Texas, they get him in. Southern California.
18-0 with an 0.67 earned run average. 12 complete games, 3 shutouts.
That's how you end up in the Big 12 and eventually the big leagues, I guess.
Yeah, was named second team All Big 12. Was also invited to the 2009 USA Baseball National Trials.
His 08 high school team played 43 games on the way to that state title.
Finished 9th nationally, 42-1.
DJ with a base hit. And Blackman will stop at second. So a good start for the Rockies, down 1-0. Cargo coming up as we take a look at the Mets defenders. Michael Conforto's in left field. Jonas Cespedes will play both corners. Today he's in center. Curtis Granderson in right. Uribe Flores, Kelly Johnson, and Daniel Murphy in the infield with Anthony Recker behind the plate. Cargo 2 for 5 yesterday, a single and a double. Outside, ball 1. Next home run for Cargo. He'll join Nolan Arenado, who's on deck in the 30 homer club. Club he has visited before. Good eye by Carlos, and it's 2-0.
Left-handers this year have hit just 160 against Verrett.
2-1 on the corner, or perhaps off, but called a strike. Fielding Colbreth behind home plate today.
Gave him a little bit of a sinker off the plate, didn't he? Going back out there again.
Two and two. This is a slider count for Logan Verrett. He throws that slider about a third of the time. But he helping us out, huh?
They're helping Bo out. Bo first.
Speed aboard. Blackman and LeMahieu back-to-back singles. Rockies trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Now Anthony Recker will go out and chat with Logan Verrett.
You know, you mentioned the other day about Recker being a big man. He's huge. He's not big. He's huge.
Huge. He looks like he looks like an NFL linebacker.
He does. My goodness, 235.
That really that shot with all his gear on doesn't do it service. This is a strong guy. Cargo pulls it right to first. Murphy. And back to Verrett. It's a 3-6-1 double play.
One of the hardest double plays to turn in baseball, and you say why, and it's typically because your shortstop's trying to throw to a moving target, meaning the pitcher coming over to cover the bag. Murphy well off, and then a strike thrown by Flores. That's the key. It's a nice Subaru Supermo shot of all this. It's where the feed comes into that shortstop. LeMahieu trying to get out and get into him a little bit, but that hard strike thrown on the money to Verrett.
So Arenado will come up. He's driven in 92. Had a sac fly yesterday. Paul Goldschmidt had a 4 RBI day amidst 2 home runs to move back into first in the RBI chase in the National League. He's got 93. And Verrett hits the strike zone there.
Arizona ball game's already over. They won 4-0 today.
Oh, 2.
You know, you mentioned yesterday, Drew, about Dan talking to your former general manager, Dan O'Dowd, talking about Arenado when men are on base. How it just seems to work. How about this number? 39 for 92 with 2 outs. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
39 of 92 RBIs have come with 2 outs.
This ball on the ground. Diving stop by Flores. And he got the out at first. So the Rockies' promising inning does not yield any runs.
bullpen. I mean, they've thrown a lot of pitches in the first 2 games of this series, and they designated Rafael Betancourt for assignment. I want to show you a graphic about how important he's been for this team. He's one of 4 guys in the history of the Rockies that have at least 10 wins and 50-plus saves. He has 58 as a Rocky, and earlier today in the clubhouse, Rafael Betancourt talked about pretty much his career.
I still remember the time I left my country to come here and play. I was 18 years old, and that was a long time ago. And I'm very happy for all the road I took to get here. Like my career was, I give everything I have every day, and that's more important for me. I can go with my head up and say, I tried my best, and I understand this is going to happen. I mean, baseball's never going to stop because somebody's going to.
Yeah, baseball will continue as David Hale with a hit by pitch here to start the inning. And Drew and George, you guys know Betancourt, 680 career games, 309 as a Rocky, ends 5th all-time in saves. Now, he may be able to get picked up, but guy leaves the game at age 40, and back in 1997 started in Battle Creek, Michigan when he came up with the Red Sox, and that's the organization that he started with.
He's such a prideful man. He is as professional as anybody who's ever worn a Rockies uniform. I can't tell you how much respect I have for him. I remember a conversation distinctly. It was in the parking lot after his elbow was torn up. This is a base hit through the right side by Conforto. It's going to be 1st and 3rd. And this goes through. Hale was backing up, but where he was backing up, the ball did not go. It went further up that 3rd base line, so it'll be a throwing error on Gonzalez as Flores ends up at 2nd base.
The 3rd error went out by this ball that just shot by Arenado on the long throw. So 2nd, 3rd, nobody out. You're right, Drew. I mean, Betancourt, special guy.
He's a special guy, and in that parking lot that day, in the parking lot outside the stadium, he said, I had talked to my family, he knew he had to have Tommy John. He said, they're all behind me, I want to come back. He was 38, and most people say, okay, maybe I'll get it fixed, but I've had a nice run. Started here with the Rockies in 09 when he was a big part of helping the Rockies win 92 games and go to the postseason. And Terry Collins wants to know, did that go out of play? Does everybody get another base? That's what I'm sure this discussion is about with Field and Colbreth.
Asking him about the tarp area. Yeah, the throw from Gonzalez had a little bit of cut to it. Nolan trying to stay on the bag as long as he could, and the runner got in the way of Nolan. But the ball ricocheted over there. Everything stays 2nd and 3rd. But continue with the story about Rafael.
Yeah, and here's a guy. Listen, how many people are going to bet on somebody who's closing in on 40 to return from Tommy John surgery? But he worked his tail off, and George, he was very close with Matt Belisle, and those 2 guys really set the standard for a number of years. This gets away. Wilmer Flores scores on a wild pitch from David Hale, and it's 2-0.
Well, I thought what Rafael did, think about going to Grand Junction as a 39, 40-year-old man and going down to rookie ball, getting your arm in shape, fighting your way through everything, and then to get back here to the big league level. You earned a job in spring training. The numbers tell it all. 309 games, 6th among the Rockies. Saves, 5th. Holes, 3rd. Strikeouts, 3rd. And strikeout to walk ratio 1st. And, what my goodness, what happened here? That's 2 balls in a row. They ricocheted off the shin guards at Dustin Garneau. Wow. A hit batsman. An errant throw and 2 wild pitches, and it's 3-0 Mets. Walt can only look and chew the gum a little harder than what he was. Let's take a look at this replay, Drew, and see what we got here on Dustin. I don't know if the ball reacted. Yeah, bounced right out in front of home plate. You got to bury it down in front of you. Pancake the glove, in my opinion. Just pancake the glove and just kind of make like a roadblock between those legs. Strike called here. But I think with Rafael, for me, I would love to see him stay in the organization if he doesn't play and come back and more than just a spring training mentor, but to go back. And I mean, there's a lot of kids in Latin America know exactly who he is. And the one thing I appreciated about him if he thought you were a little bit short on what you needed to be doing, he wasn't afraid to tell you. And I think that goes for miles and miles of mentorship to young kids and how to do the game the right way.
His work ethic, again, George, as we know, his work ethic, his record fouls this off. You know, a second and none. That's a very strong 40-year-old
Think
man.
about it. How many 40? I mean, you know, you got Cologne over here. I get it. He's 42. You have Troy Hawkins, 42. To play this game till you're 40, folks. I retired at 33 because I was wore out. My knees were gone. It wasn't any fun to play the game anymore. And this guy's gone through surgery. He's done everything. I mean, you got to have a strong love for the game. Rockies 50 wild pitches. That's second in the National League, only to Milwaukee with 51.
Boy, that's nowhere close. And a walk to Anthony record.
Yeah, nobody out here in the second inning. Just mentioned hit batsman, base hit to right, wild pitch. And you got some runs in. Steve Foster's going to make another one of those trips you don't like to make early in a ball game out to the mound to visit with the young catcher and Mr. Hale.
I want to say something about Steve Foster and Darren Holmes. When things don't go well pitching wise, and obviously the bullpen has, to be kind, struggled mightily over the last several weeks, and overall the Rockies pitching is subpar. Let's be honest. That's one of the reasons that the Rockies are 49-72. LaTroy Hawkins came out on social media recently because when things don't go well, you take a lot of criticism. That comes with the territory. And there were some people that were critical of first-year pitching coach Steve Foster and Darren Holmes in the bullpen. And LaTroy Hawkins quickly responded. He said, you know what, I think I'm a decent authority. He's been on 11 teams. He's been, as you mentioned, Frazier, he's 42. He's been playing Major League Baseball for, what, 21 seasons now? He said they're two of the very best in the pitching department that I've ever been associated with.
Well, I think the key to all of this, when you get to the big league level, you should be pretty close to a finished product. You really should be. And so when you do get guys up here that maybe aren't finished and you're trying to correct things on the go, this is a tough league to go out and try to figure things out. And I think that's one of the great things they've been able to do. Positive, very positive. You know, and Darren's big thing is he's really good with the biomechanics. That pitch is going to miss wide again.
That's another wild pitch. And boy, Dustin Garneau is getting a workout.
But all those things come into play. The biggest thing for me that a pitching coach could do in the big leagues when you're going good or when you're going bad is to put your arm around it. It's going to be all right. We're going to figure this out. You know, you've done this before. You know what you've done. I think the hardest thing for young kids is still 60 feet 6 inches. Still a round ball. They got a bat. It's just trust your stuff and go to work. Right now it's not too good, obviously. 3-0. The wild pitches have played a pretty big role in this. 3 in the inning.
A bunt strikeout. As Logan Verrett is gone. 4 strikeouts. Wrecker at second. And here's Curtis Granderson. He walked leading off the game. Stole second. Scored on a double by Daniel Murphy. One out. Showing speeds nicely there. Well, with the 3 wild pitches by David Hale, ties for the most in a game in Rockies history with 4 others, and it's happened in 1 inning. That is going to go foul. David Need, Brian Ricard, Aaron Cook, Ubaldo Jimenez all through 3 in a ball game. I don't know if they all happen in the same frame though. It's only 1 hit in the inning, but they're 2 runs. Hale strikes out Granderson for the second out. So he's accumulating strikeouts. He's got 5 strikeouts, all of the outs. Join in on the conversation. Send us your comments and photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Make sure you include the hashtag Toyota Talk, and we'll get to as many as we can during the ball game. Yoenis Cespedes, he struck out his first time. Those numbers at the bottom, what he's done with the Mets, does not obviously include what he did in the American League.
Yeah, it's a great pickup by Sandy Alderson. He's at 348 with runners in scoring position for the New York Mets since being acquired.
He's also hit 383 for the Mets out on the road. Remember, the Mets were abysmal out on the road. They've actually turned it around. They've become a much better road team the last 6 weeks or so. He went 1-2.
Yeah, I thought he went around too. Manny Gonzalez over at first base today. There's that flip of the bat. Big, strong guys like that, they get it going. Boy, it's hard to slam it, shut it down. Dave Winfield used to just drop his bat, let it go completely out of his hand.
And Hale completes the play to first. In the inning, there were 2 runs. There were 3 wild pitches. There was a hit batter. There was a walk. It's 3-0 New York, middle of 2.
He's talking to him now. Take that to the mound with you. You struck out 5. When you threw it over the plate, they're not hitting it. When you don't throw it over the plate and you're bouncing things, to keep that energy going right there instead of, in other words, you're spreading the strike zone out versus keeping the ball in the middle of the plate where we want you to keep it and allow your good stuff to go to work for you.
Ben Paulson will lead off in the second for the Rockies. Parker and Descalso after that against Logan Verrett. Verrett with a first pitch strike. Paulson didn't play yesterday against the left-hander Nice. On Friday, he homered 1 for 5 on Friday. Bounce foul. Mets winners 10 straight against the Rockies. That's their longest stretch against one team since they beat Pittsburgh 15 straight in '86 and '87. That '86 team beat up a lot of teams. First strikeout for Verrett. Kyle Parker coming up. Tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and we'll get you into an upcoming game broadcast, we hope. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Parker, couple home runs, 8 driven in. Gave the Rockies big life early in the game yesterday. They were down by the same score, 3-0. He hit a 3-run triple. Dead center field. His confidence growing at the plate. Oh and 2. Fastball, slider, changeup, the repertoire for Verrett.
Occasionally throw a cutter. That time he elevated the fastball. Got the strikeout of Parker.
They reach back out a little more on that 93. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second, and Daniel Descalso will take his turn. Reminder, if the Rockies do as they've done the last couple of days, score more than 7, go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Diving stop at first by Murphy, and the flip to Verrett, and the Rockies are done in their half of the second. 3-0, the Mets leading at Coors Field. The next 3 days, Thursday an off day, and on Friday the Rockies will begin a series against Clint Hurdle's Pirates back home, Diamondbacks, Giants. Then it's on to San Diego. And actually on the 10th, the Rockies now have a makeup game against the Padres for that strange rainout in San Diego. And then on to Seattle for the first time in a while. Daniel Murphy tripled his first time up. Excuse me, doubled off the center field wall, drove in the first run of the ball game. So the Mets last night, every position player had multiple hit games. The last time that happened for the Mets was August 27, 2009 in Miami. Last time it happened in the big leagues period was 2013 when the Cardinals did it in Cincinnati. 21 hits, not a season high. It tied a season high. They also had 21 against the Dodgers at home on July 25th. That's when this great run of offense had begun for the Mets. 3-0s in there, 3-1. So Hale's walked 2 and he's hit a batter, and he has 3 wild pitches, trying to clean things up and get on a positive roll in the 3rd, and that's a base hit. Uribe fights this one off past Tom Goodwin, a former Rocky, first base coach for the Mets.
Individual game day suites party facilities are still available for the rest of the regular season. 303 Rockies to check the availability today. And one thing about Uribe, there's a lot of teams that get to the playoffs, they want him with them. 5 out of his 15 seasons he's been in the playoffs.
Pretty good percentage. If a third of the time you're going to the postseason, and this is the toughest sport of the 4 major sports to get to the postseason by percentage. Fewest teams go, and that is even now with the extra wild card, which I think has been great for baseball.
It's been great.
Oh my goodness.
Where'd that one go? In the dugout.
Yeah. Another wild pitch from Hale. That's 4. That's and you know, that's, you look back at some of the guys the Rockies have had pitch, and you say, okay, well, that guy was, you know, struggled with command. You could see him with wicked stuff, maybe having one of those rough days where he threw a bunch of wild pitches. You think of a control guy when you think of David Hale.
Dustin Garneau did everything he's supposed to do there to block that slider, and it just jumped up and hit the arm and ricocheted to the dugout.
Well, he's getting strikeouts, though. He's got a strikeout of Uribe. That's his 6th. It's really an odd line. 4 wild pitches, a club record, 6 strikeouts with 1 out in the 3rd.
And that stayed elevated all the way into the plate. And what happens, look at Garneau dropping to the one knee to receive the ball because you're really not sure if it's going to get into the dirt or stay up. It's only the 3rd time he's been behind the plate at Coors Field.
Inside on Kelly Johnson. Johnson struck out. It was in the 1st inning. It ended the 1st inning. Run in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. Just heard from our man Corey Sullivan. He played in that last Mets game when they had everybody in the lineup producing multiple hits in 2009. Said I threw out 2 hits and 5 at bats. That a baby, Corey. This ball to DJ. 2 outs as Murphy goes to 3rd, and that'll bring up Wilmer Flores. Wilmer was hit by a pitch and scored last inning. Become a very famous picture. Wilmer Flores with the tears rolling down his face playing defense when he thought he had been traded, and then the trade fell through for Carlos Gomez, who was with Milwaukee at the time. Obviously Gomez was traded after that, and he instantly became an even bigger fan favorite for his passion for staying with the Mets. Since that game and the video of tears rolling down his face, he's hit .328 over 18 ball games.
Yeah, that had to be really tough. I mean, you know, when your teammates are seeing it out there on social media and then coming in and telling the manager, hey, it's out there, you better have a conversation of some kind, and the trade fell through. Go back out and play shortstop, tears running down your eye. Man, that's tough.
Boy, good block by Garneau.
That was a good block. I mean, I don't know. The fans are cheering Dustin Garneau. Well, let me tell you, it hadn't been all Dustin Garneau. I can tell you that right now. This looked like a changeup. He just got overamped. Dustin just jumped out on it and just tried to bury it the best he could. I mean, that's all the way almost outside the left-handed batter's box.
And that's a base hit for Flores to right. Jogging home with the fourth run is Murphy, and that's RBI number 49 for Flores.
Well, you shake your head after the pitch because you think you made a pretty good pitch. It is a pretty good pitch. Outside corners, on the knees, flared to right field, but it's a wild pitch that advanced the runner into scoring position. That changed a lot of this.
The Mets have been up 21 different times in this series. 21 different at bats. They have scored in 13 of those innings. All 3 today, 7 of 9 on Friday, 3 of 9 yesterday. It just seemed worse than that because they got 8 in 1 inning. (3-0) now on Michael Conforto.
Yeah, they're going to turn them loose. 4-run lead, 3-0 count.
Wow, the way they're swinging the bat. Why,
never put it in the hip pocket, right? Keep it out there.
The Mets with runners in scoring position coming into the ball game, and they've added on today. 16 for 31, 5-16 over the last 2 games. 31 different at bats in 2 games with runners in scoring position. That's a base hit. Running with the pitch was Flores. He'll easily go to third. Anthony Recker, the catcher, coming up.
Well, Walt can only look.
What are you supposed to do? I mean, we show shots, and what can you do?
Yeah, try to go to the outside corner. He put it right where he wanted it. The location needed was up a little bit in the zone, and then the guy takes it to right field. There's not a whole lot you can do about it if you're Walt Weiss, Steve Foster. Put the guys out, think you can have success with it. You know, a pretty good shot of Anthony Recker. Drew and I talked about it in the first inning how big this guy is. Not hitting for much average. Got a little pop in that bat, though. 2 home runs for a limited time he's playing.
That's down the line. Fair ball, according to third base umpire Paul Schreiber. 1 run is scored. And stopping at third base is Conforto on the double by Wrecker. It's 5-0. You got to figure. Exactly what I was about to say. We show a shot at Tommy Runnels. You got to get somebody up.
Now one more look at it. Ball to the outside, stayed to the middle, about belt high. And Anthony Recker doesn't play that much. Doesn't have a lot of at bats this year. Is able to take that ball and just drive it out over the plate. I mean, he's only got 62 at bats this year, 25 ball game. Yeah, I think that phone call Tommy was making. Now the phone rang from Steve Foster. Diaz or Castro? Which one? Simon Castro will be the guy getting the calls.
He slowly hit up the middle, and Descalso just did get Logan Verrett. 2 more runs in the inning, 4 hits for the Mets. They're up 5-0. Back at Coors Field as we honor the true boys of summer. The Mets leading 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Garneau and then David Hale, Charlie Blackmon here at the bottom of the third. Don't miss this week's Rockies Weekly. Go behind the scenes at Cargo's charity event as his teammates and local celebrities raise money for Colorado kids. And you'll learn more about John Gray and his hobbies away from the field. Also, good to meet Tyler Nevin, one of the Rockies' top picks, son of Phil Nevin, and what he's doing in Grand Junction. That's today after the postgame show.
Yeah, Tyler's playing really well at Grand Junction, swinging the bat well, probably as good as any or better than anybody else down there. So, position guys. Castro continues to stretch. Hale's in the on-deck circle.
He was doing exceptionally well. Jensen Park out of northern Colorado. He's hitting .341.
How many at bats he got right now?
Last time I looked, he was hitting 63 hole. He's got 123 at bats.
It's a good sampling of what's going to happen.
Yeah. He's got 6 doubles, 4 triples, 3 homers, 24 driven in.
Good for him.
Yeah. 8 stolen bases, caught just twice. A real late pick. Native of Hawaii, played at Northern Colorado and Greeley, and he has been terrific for the Grand Junction Rockies. He's leading them in hitting. One and 2 on Dustin Garneau. Astros having a big day.
11-run first inning. How about that? That'll give you.
Yeah, Jesus Tinoco has been lights out since coming to the Rockies from the Blue Jays organization in the Tulowitzki trade. I mean, absolutely lights out.
You know, it really helps the Asheville spot because there's typically quite a few Latin American pitchers there. Mark Burr, the pitching coach, has been in the Dominican Republic for the last, I would say 10, 11 years, maybe 12. Mark was hired by Jeff Braddock when he was the farm director here before becoming general manager, and went to work for the Rockies. He's been in Asheville a couple of years, but he's bilingual, and I think that really, really helps in easing these guys into the higher level of baseball.
2 and 2. Tinoco went 5 innings today, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He's 4-0 now with an 0.96 ERA. Three and 2 on Garneau at Cal State Fullerton. Tinoco 66 pitches today, 44 for strikes. Ball 4. A nice at bat. Garneau was behind 0-2. First walk allowed by Logan Verrett. Again, if they get 5 innings out of Verrett, they'd be thrilled. He's making a spot start. David Hale at the plate. With every challenge call, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. One ball, one strike on Hale.
You know, Juan Uribe's like, go ahead and bunt it, but I'm going to be right next to you. He's starting to walk in, and then he starts to run in. I mean, it's getting really close. Good bunt.
Murphy flips to Johnson on the sac bunt.
Yeah, what we were talking about, Uribe's out here at third base, and all of a sudden he's just going to creep in. He's going to end up about right here. In case there's an opportunity to have a play if that ball's bunted up the third base line. Hale, nice bunt, made Murphy field it and completed the sacrifice. Charlie singled in his first at bat. LeMahieu singled.
Five runs, 6 hits for the Mets. No runs, 2 hits, and an error on the Rockies outside. Ball 1. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. There are only 5 players in the big leagues with this combination: 130+ hits, 10+ homers, 40+ ribbies, 60+ runs, 20+ stolen bases. Look at the list: Pollock, Altuve, Goldschmidt, Lorenzo Cain of the Royals, and Charlie Blackmon. This ball's well hit left center field, and Cespedes calls off. Conforto to make the catch. 2 outs. That'll bring up LeMahieu. Inside, ball 1 on LeMahieu.
I was watching Cespedes catch that. They're not even the same ball player, but Abreu won the National League or American League Rookie of the Year a year ago. More power, RBI type person, not even close to the same athlete. Cespedes finished second to Trout in 2012. Trout was unanimous winner of Rookie of the Year in the American League.
DJ with a broken bat, 2-hopper to Uribe. That'll end the inning. Garneau walked. He's left at second base. 3 complete, 5-0 New York as we go to the 4th. All on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Sunday's bite to the game day.
Uh-oh. Don't pull out in front of me. Did you not see me? Riding in the bike lane. 71 pitches through 3 innings so far for David Hale. That'll have to get tightened up this inning.
Top of the Mets order: Curtis Granderson, Jonas Cespedes, Daniel Murphy. That's in there for a strike. Mets have scored in each inning: 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third.
I tell you, Granderson's got such a good eye. A couple of pitches have been pretty close. He just kind of looks, spits at them, and lets them go by. Not a lot of chasing by him.
Center field, Blackman. Yoenis Cespedes, strikeout and a little comebacker. He will be a free agent at the end of the year. Be interesting to see where he lands if the Mets make a hard run at keeping him around.
Winning, if they get that far. You get into the World Series, sometimes the pressure of the media and the fans pressure an ownership group into doing things. David Hale's pitching pretty well today. Strikeout, ground ball back to ground ball to first.
Check swing, foul ball. And Hale with another strikeout. Accumulated 7 strikeouts, 2 outs. Daniel Murphy 2 for 2, double and an RBI, single and a run scored. Tyler Chatwood threw a simulated game this morning and he looked very good. The guys he threw against was last year's batting champion Justin Morneau.
It's just a feeling of getting back on a mound again, facing hitters live. You don't have an L screen in front of you. And he had 25 pitches the other day. I think it was 35 or 40 today. A slow process of coming back. Second Tommy John for Tyler. That one his sophomore year in high school.
And this is going to be a 1-2-3 inning. First today for the Rockies. 5-0 Mets. 5-0 New York as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Cargo, Arenado, Paulson against Logan Verrett. Cargo grounded into a 3-6-1 double play his first time up. Cargo got a pitch up that he liked, found it straight back.
Try to get him to chase a changeup.
1 ball, 1 strike. Mets are one of those teams that really likes playing under the sunlight. They're 25-12 this year, second best winning percentage in day baseball in the big leagues.
There's a lot of teams you can look at, particularly you can look at individual hitters. Some see the ball better at night than they do during the day. Some pitchers have much more success during the day than they do night. I think a lot of it's bright sunlight. How well do you hide the baseball at nighttime? Obviously, picking the ball up.
This ball crushed to center field, and this one is gone. Home run number 30 for Carlos Gonzalez as he joins Nolan Arenado in that prestigious club. Not too many folks hit no-doubters to dead center field. That was a no-doubter.
Well, I started to say, Cespedes, you can quit running. You're not going to have any space to catch this one. Just kind of has that sound, doesn't it, off the bat? You can just really tell this ball going to carry a long way. It's an elevated pitch. Verrett knew it. That guy right there knew it, too. When you hit it 430 feet to center field, and it lands in the pond before you get about 8 step out of the box, it's been hit pretty well.
5-1. Here is Nolan, and he fouls it off.
Well, one more look at the swing of Carlos Gonzalez. It sure is pretty, folks. Subaru Supermo on a ball elevated, squared up just like you like it.
Bryce Harper leading the league, but just by 1 now. Here come a couple of Rockies. The midsummer home run champ at the All-Star game, the home run derby champ, Todd Frazier's got 29.
Thought he hit one to win it last night, came up short.
Just the 8th time in Rockies history they've had a pair of guys hit 30 or more. We were talking about this last night. The last time, what was it? Was it 04 the last time? When 3 Rockies, as Arenado goes down, 3 Rockies hit 30 or more. Castilla, Helton, and Jeremy Burnitz. And Burnitz led the club with 37. Cargo's career high is 34 in 2010 when he was a batting champ. Ben Paulson. And Ben hooks this one foul.
Rockies fans, it's back to school time at the Dugout Stores. Shop the back to school sale with great brands and styles through the end of August. Go to Rockies.com/dugout stores for more information and location of the stores.
One, 2, and that is going to stay fair. Murphy runs to the bag, 2 outs. Kyle Parker will take his turn. Kyle struck out swinging in the second. The Rockies, the pre-Humidor days, on 4 occasions had 4 players hit 30 or more home runs. Blake Street Bomber days, 95, 96, 97, and also 99. Play for Juan Uribe. In the inning, the Rockies get on the board. Cargo with a home run to dead center field, his 30th of the year. Rough beginning for David Hale. He gave up runs in each of the first 3 innings. He threw 4 wild pitches, which is a franchise record. Positive for the Rockies. Cargo, his 30th home run. That happened a few moments ago. We go to the 5th inning. Uribe will lead it off. Kelly Johnson, Wilmer Flores against David Hale.
Uribe's had a tough time with the slider from David Hale today.
They get a steady dose of those in this at bat after that first one also. 0-2. Here it comes. And he got it for a 3rd time. 8 strikeouts for Hale.
A good slider, 3 in a row. Good location for those sliders. Uribe, who is prototypically just bailed out on a lot of pitches. He bails on this one. Head's gone, shoulders gone, off speed. Good pitch by David Hale.
Kelly Johnson, a strikeout and a ground ball to LeMahieu outside. Mets lead the division by 4.5. They led the start of the day by 5. And DJ diving stop. Still got his man. Special play again by LeMahieu.
Okay, well, you just make all the highlight reel you want to at first and at second and third, and how to play the game. But so much of their success, Nolan and DJ, is all about instinct. They've got great instinct for the game.
They really do. Wilmer Flores hit by a pitch and scored in the second. RBI single and scored in the third. Washington won today 9-5. That's why it's 4.5 games. Beat Milwaukee.
89th pitch coming up for David Hale. Short inning here, may buy another. Due to hit third, though. That's the other thing that may play a little bit of a role in it, too.
I think that'll play a large role. This has got to be it.
Just see what they got going. Here it is, the National League East standings. Mets 4.5, Braves 14, Phillies and Marlins.
One, two, 3 inning for Hale again. He's retired 7 in a row. 5-1 New York. To by the Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games. Get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. 5-1 New York. The Rockies will have the bottom third of their order in the bottom of the 5th inning. Daniel Descalso, Dustin Garneau. And then we'll see. I'm sure a pinch hitter for David Hale with the Rockies down by 4 runs. Logan Verrett. The one way that Walt would continue with Hale is if there's 2 outs and nobody on with the short bench. The fact that he's retired 7 in a row.
Castro's up and throwing down in the bullpen, so if they get something going, get a couple of guys on, you may see that. You may see him go to it anyway. Tell you what, Verrett's done a nice job. 3 hits, a run.
Yeah, very nice job. I'm saying that that Harvey got pushed back. That they're actually pushing him back a whole turn in the rotation because tomorrow they're going to throw DeGrom against Adam Morgan.
Yeah, I think Harvey's going on Friday back home, first day home. They go to Philadelphia for 4 after this, and I think Harvey's starting that first game back. So they're giving him about 3 bullpens in between starts, but saving the innings.
4 strikeouts for Verrett. Dustin Garneau walked after falling behind 0-2. He's got a couple of doubles here in his first few days in the big leagues. Cespedes coming in, Kelly Johnson going out, and Cespedes arrives.
Yeah, Hale's going to go ahead and hit here. Nobody out.
Again,
nobody on.
Yeah, that's all because of the fact that there's 2 outs and nobody on.
And a short bench. If you don't already receive Hot Rocks mails, you're missing out on the best ticket deals. The only way to receive them is to become a Rockies registered user at Rockies.com. Great ticket deals. Hale struck out 9 2 different times in his career, back in 13 against San Diego and then Houston in June this year.
1 strike on David Hale. Another strikeout. That's 5 for Logan Verrett. He's retired 6 in a row. Mets leading 5-1. Today's game summary is brought to you by Comcast. The Rockies have a solo home run from Cargo, his 30th of the year. Charlie had a base hit earlier. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. 5-1 New York as we go to the 6th inning, and it'll be Michael Conforto leading off at the 7th spot for the Mets. David Hale has retired 7 straight, so he's settled in a little bit. Conforto's 2 for 2. Gonzalez had to get out of the way and then whip his head around to see if it was fair or foul.
Umpires communicate in different ways. He's holding his chest like, almost got me.
Oh, 2. On the corner, and that's strikeout number 9 for David Hale.
Pretty good job. He's retired 8 in a row now. That ball, a high fastball, but called a strike on the outside corner on his Subaru Supermo.
Wrecker went. Wrecker's a Pennsylvania kid. He went to a Division III school, Alvernia College. Ball's well hit to left. Parker gets back and makes the catch.
Well, what looked like after a couple of innings, you're thinking, oh boy, another one of those ball games. And here's David Hale into this, pitching into the 6th inning with 2 outs.
He's retired 9 in a row. And you're right, George. Didn't look like anything like that was going to occur. Anything positive. David with 4 wild pitches. Logan Verrett is going to fly out to Cargo. Quick innings, too. So 10 in a row set down by Hale. See if the Rockies can get after Verrett. Look back. The Mets had 5 runs in the first 3 innings. That ball well hit. The double by Daniel Murphy the first inning. And then David Hale had hit a batter and kept spiking the ball in the dirt. 3 wild pitches in 1 inning. 4 in all of the game. 2 runs scored on wild pitches. Wilmer Flores punched a single behind in the count to drive in another. The Mets led 5-0. This is a double by Recker to get that 5th run home. The Rockies would get a run back on a long home run to center by Carlos Gonzalez into the fountains. That's our Cooney Lexus look back. Colorado's #1 volume Lexus dealer. Just getting to the mound now is Logan Verrett. He can be excused because he was the last guy to hit.
Well, and he had a catcher hit right before him. He wasn't dressed and ready to go either. How about this? You mentioned the job by Alderson to boast up this offense. But their pitching staff has thrown 768 innings, which leads the National League, leads all the major leagues. Their earned run average is 338. That's 4th in the major leagues. Hey, on the road traveling, I want to watch your Rockies. Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on the demand. Over 400 devices, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and a whole lot more.
So top of the Rockies order here in the 6th.
Well, they're putting a huge shift on for Charlie. Blackman and Uribe's playing up the middle. A little more quickness at third base. Charlie tried to lay that bunt down.
There's Noah Syndergaard. I wanted to mention he's not pitching this series. Talk about those Mets starters. This is a Texas kid, not to be confused with the hair of Jacob deGrom. George, he was walking out of the weight room today when I was walking down the hallway. You want to talk about a big human being?
Yeah, that's a really big man.
Big, and he looks like an NFL tight end. In fact, if he was in an NFL locker room, he's got huge guns on him. The tight end room would say, boy, you're pretty big for a tight end. Baseball looks like a ping pong ball in his hand.
Well, they've been waiting on him to get here, and he's kind of battled around in AAA, and he's got here. He has definitely arrived on this ball club. 7 and 6 overall, an earned run average of 3.17.
Yeah, there's some guys who throw hard, and you say, "Wow, what? Not a big guy. He's got a big arm." Then there's some guys that look like they should throw hard, and he looks like he should throw hard. There's DeGrom's locks, and there's Syndergaard's locks.
Bergman's right in there with him.
Yeah.
Weaver out with the Angels, another guy with long hair.
And Charlie gets hit on the leg.
On a 2-2 count with nobody out in the 5-1 ball game. Trying to come inside with the fastball. Yeah, tough to get out of the way on that one. That one hurts.
Hurts because
right
he got
off
him
the
on the
shin,
muscle.
yeah.
It looked like he got him on the calf, which. Not a lot of fun. Charlie's turned into really one of the elite leadoff men in baseball. Ability to get on base, his ability to hit the ball over the wall, which is a bonus certainly for a guy that hits first, and then the stolen bases. I mean, on the top 4 in baseball. 33 bags. You look at Blackmon, really gifted athlete, obviously a gifted baseball player because he had the ability to pitch at an extremely high level and be a position player. But behind it all, nice gifts, but an extraordinary work ethic. And that's why instead of just getting here, he's staying here, and he's going to be an impact player, it looks like, for quite a while. He's been an impact player. All-star. A lot of nice accolades for Charlie Blackmon. Rockies just 3 hits against Barrett. This falls to deep right, and it looks like Granderson has a beat on it. He does.
Well, the thing about it, Charlie, it takes a special person to be able to play center field at Coors Field. You have so much ground to cover out in center field, and not only the study he puts in on pitchers and pickoff moves, he spends a lot of time on hitters and patterns and where they hit it, position himself in the outfield.
A lot of running around, and players will tell you, athletes will tell you, especially baseball players, you know, here on the road, here on the road, you get more sore at altitude. So when you're playing center field, there's a whole lot of starting and stopping and running around. He's out there every single day. Here's Cargo. Long home run his last time up, his 30th.
Yeah, last time up, he got a ball up and out over the plate. He sent it up and out over center field. We'll go along with Nolan Arenado now. 30 home runs. 71 RBIs in the big leagues. Nolan with 30 and 92s in the on-deck circle.
Look at home run rate, George. Bryce Harper has 31 home runs. He's hitting a home run every 12.7 at bats. The second best rate in the league is Cargo, one every 14.2. To tell you something else that's interesting, 34 times now a Rocky has hit 30 or more home runs. Not 34 different players, it's just occurred 34 times. With Cargo joining Nolan today, it's happened only 13 times since the humidor was put into play in 2002.
Tell you what, Barrett's been impressive. When he's needed to make a pitch, he's made it.
6 strikeouts for a guy making a spot start. Here he is in the 6th inning with 2 outs. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Arenado, a ground ball to short and a strikeout. That ground ball to short was a great play by Wilmer Flores. He had to lay out and scrambled to his feet. Just did get Nolan at first. Saved a run. And he's not going to get this one. That's on through, a base hit. Blackman to second. 2 on 2
Blackman's
outs.
trying to make it.
He's going to try to go to third.
Not going to make it.
And he's out. And Charlie gambles from time to time. We've talked about it. Probably not the time to do it there. The Mets leading as we go to the top of the 7th inning, and Simon Castro, who was called up earlier today. Again, the Rockies made a couple of moves. Jairo Diaz is here also to try to help out in the bullpen. For Simon, those are the numbers from AAA this year. He had Tommy John last year. A few games 2 years ago with the Chicago White Sox, and he had a really big arm early in his career.
He does, and it's still 90-94. He'll touch a 95 occasionally. I mean, we're talking a guy thrown into the hundreds before the Tommy John. They'll come on here and hopefully eat up a couple of innings for the Rockies. David Hale actually turned this outing into a pretty good one. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, and he struck out 9.
Well, he retired the last 10 guys, and it didn't look like anything positive was going to occur like that. So good for David Hale for turning it around. The Rockies have just 1 run.
Drew, I got a question I want to ask. Who has the most 30 home run players in a season since 1901? Which team has had the most 30 home run players? I think you'll be surprised by the answer.
Think about that. When the Braves had 3 guys at 40, Davey Johnson.
This is just over the course of, you know, since the time. Which team has had the most 30 or more home runs in a season?
Oh, I thought you meant 1 year.
No.
Since when?
1901.
I'll say the Giants.
Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians 117. The Orioles, Tigers, Yankees, and A's. In that order. But Cleveland the most with 117 different players that hit 30 or more home runs in a season. The Rockies helped did it 6 times. Castilla 6, Walker 4, Galarraga 4, and Bichette 3.
Yoenis Cespedes takes a strike. 92 from Castro. Again, just so there's no confusion with folks that follow the Rockies closely, and they know that in the Toronto deal, the Rockies picked up a Castro who was pitching at Albuquerque. That's Miguel Castro. He remains at Albuquerque. This is Simon Castro.
get wild at times. A lot of body parts. This big guy trying to get everything moving in the right direction.
So earlier today, Rafael Betancourt, that's the big news of the day, designated for assignment. Justin Miller was optioned down to Albuquerque. Simone Castro comes up along with hard-throwing Jairo Diaz. Walt Weiss saying about Betancourt, it's a tough conversation to have with a guy like that. He's been a warrior. He's been a great leader. He's got a lot to be proud of when he looks back at his career, and he's absolutely right.
You know, unfortunately, Walt's had that conversation. He's been on the other side of the desk as a player. You know, as you get older, it becomes time you have those realizations of it is over. You think it's never going to be over as a player. I think that's the one thing players fight all the time. They don't think it's ever going to be over. You know, and you get that phone call that to go see the manager, the tap on the shoulder, and you're like, man, what are they going to do? DL me? Last thing on your mind is getting released.
Yeah, and I say this, George, and you've heard me say this before, and you would know this certainly far better than I would, but you know, being around the game and conversations with people and observing people, everybody who look at, wow, that hit him?
Yeah, it hit him. Caught him right in the back of the shoulder.
So really quickly, George, there are everybody plays at this level, no matter how much success they have or how long they stay. Ridiculously talented just to get here.
Right.
But not everybody loves the game the same way. Some are more passionate than others. In the case of Rafael Betancourt, he loves the game. He told me recently he hopes to play another year. Things change, and who knows? Yeah, who knows? You don't know what will happen going forward. But here's another soundbite from Rafi this morning, and he's obviously an emotional Rafael Betancourt today when he got the news.
This happened when you don't do your job, and when things expecting something else, and you're not able to do it, and you know, I understand that situation, and I'm fine with that. I always respect people here. They treat me like I don't have any words to say, you know, how much respect I have for the Colorado Rockies.
Murphy bounced into the 4-6-3 double play. 2 outs. Granderson to third.
Well, I think the one thing, you know, Rafi said there is he said, I got a lot of respect because the Rockies let him come back, get his arm in shape, gave him a chance to go down and be a part of it. At the end of the year last year, he pitched a little bit in AAA. Then he comes spring training in tip-top shape and makes the ball club out of spring training. Pitches all the way here into August. And as I mentioned a minute ago, you're never prepared for that tap on the shoulder to go see the manager. I don't care how old you are, how long you've been playing. So, I mean, that's some of the tough parts of baseball. And the thing is, with today's game, guys have made a lot of money, so it's a little bit easier. They're not going to have to go back out of the game and hunt for a job and go to work outside of baseball unless they want to. Rafi's no exception.
Uribe at the plate. Uribe's just happy that David Hale's not out there anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
He struck out 3 times against Hale. Something else that Walt said about Betancourt. He said, to be honest with you, in spring training, coming off the Tommy John, he's be 40. Said, I didn't really think that he was going to make the club. Not only did he make the club, but early on, he was very, very effective. It wasn't just a nice gesture. You don't do that at this level. There's the 1-2, pulled to third. There is Nolan, long throw, and he gets a rebate. Beautiful play by Arenado. The Mets from adding on a run. Stretch time at Coors Field. The Mets leading 5-1. We're going to stick around for a Sunday rendition of God Bless America. Enjoy, everybody.
Band. The Colorado Rockies are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field today is Staff Sergeant Douglas McNett. Staff Sergeant McNett served in the United States Air Force as a critical care combat medic in Japan, Germany, and Afghanistan for more than 8 years. He received an Army Commendation Medal for service in Afghanistan and a U.S. Air Force Commendation for his achievements in Japan, along with 67 other medals during his time in service. He has been acknowledged by the President of the United States, Speaker of the House, ambassadors, and Secretary of the Army for his service to our country. Joining him on the field today is his wife, Katie, and their 3 boys, Gavin, Jaden, and Camden. Fans, please give a warm hero's welcome to Staff Sergeant Douglas McNett and all of our nation's brave servicemen and women and their families. We thank you for your service and sacrifice. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the Colorado National Guard's 101st Army Band, is Staff Sergeant Lance Christensen. Please welcome Staff Sergeant Christensen and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
For the Rockies, let's check our Data Strong fan photo brought to you by T-Mobile. that a cat or a dog, Frazier?
Where? That's a dog.
Oh, dog's a big Rockies fan.
Yeah, he is.
Strikeout and a ground out today for Ben. How about Logan Verrett? We thought, 60, 75 pitches maybe. What's he doing out there in the 7th inning still?
73 pitches in the ball game so far.
That's part of the reason. I mean, he's been efficient.
A lot of ground ball outs.
Still got 6 strikeouts.
The 1 run, the solo shot. I wonder why the guy hadn't stuck anywhere. It was with Texas earlier this year, pitched in 4 ball games for them, and here with the Mets he's pitched really well. Career right-handed has hit 204, left-handed 160. I grant you it's only 100 at bats, so nearly 100, but combined between the left and right side. Let's hide the ball pretty good. Nobody's getting any real clean swings on the baseball.
Olsen pulls that one fat. Two and two. That's the 7th strikeout for Logan Verrett. See if you're Logan Verrett, all that talent in the Mets starting rotation rubs off on you.
Man, I'm telling you. Well, get your tickets now for the Fan Appreciation Fireworks. Great Clips is going to bring all that to you on Friday, September the 25th, after the Rockies take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Make sure you're here for the fireworks on the 25th, Friday the 25th.
Parker swings and misses. Strikeout, ground ball to third for Kyle.
Slider.
0-2.
Slider strike 1 and fastball outside corner strike 2 at 90. He's held his velocity to about average here where he's been most of the game. He's touched 93 a couple of times.
Record sets up away. It's a fastball away at 91, fouled off.
See, I like that because as a hitter, naturally, you swung, miss, slider, fastball away, strike 2. You're thinking the ball away a lot of times is going to be another slider, so you lay off of it, and then it's what I call that freeze fastball on the outside corner. Just freezes the hitter. They don't fire at it, thinking it's a ball moving out of the zone. Yeah, the other night Parker got a hanging breaking ball, and he hit that thing out of the ballpark. Right now you can see the record trying to keep everything to the outside part of the plate. Torres won a multi innings last night in the ball game. Cardinals threw an inning and a third last night. Flaherty threw a third of an inning last night. Fly ball out to center. Cespedes can't make the play.
That'll bring up Descalso with 2 outs. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special, and the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Final line, David Hale, 6 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned, 6 hits, couple walks. He struck out 9, 97 pitches. Again, tale of 2 halves of what he worked. The first 3 innings and the second 3 innings. First 3 innings were rough. The last 3 were outstanding. Rockies have been held to 4 hits against Logan Verrett. Gets that changeup in there nicely too. Curveball. Another curveball, and he strikes out. Daniel Descalso, 8 strikeouts for Verrett. We'll go to the 8th, 5-1 New York. Most of the kids back in school now, but another good crowd here on a Sunday afternoon. Hoping for a Rockies rally. Here at the top of the 8th inning, Kelly Johnson will be first, Wilmer Flores, and then Michael Conforto, Drew Goodman, and George Frazier. Second inning of work for Simone Castro. A slider there, and it's 1-0. Johnson 0 for 3, strikeout, 2 ground balls to DJ. And 3-0. First 2 games, as that's a strike of this series. John Gray went an inning and 2/3. Of course, yesterday, Chris Russin went just 2 innings. He faced 8 batters in the 3rd, didn't retire any of them, 3-2. The last time that occurred, where 2 starters for the Rockies went 2 innings or less in consecutive starts, was September 10th and 11th, 2000. One against the Dodgers, one against the Padres. Parker in left field.
Nice job by Castro. Back to 3-0. Came all the way back to get the out.
Flores hit by a pitch, a single and a ground ball to third. 6 hits in the series for Flores.
Yeah, first inning you saw Castro on the mound. I mean, he only pitched in 4 other ball games. And at the major league level, I'm sure a little bit nervous. He had the base hit, the hit batsman, double play out of the inning. Works way all the way back on a 3-0 count. Gets a fly ball to left. Threw a couple of wipeout sliders. And the count's even at 1-1. Yeah, I'll change that on the board. Yeah, it's 0-2 on the board. I thought maybe he went around.
Ground ball to third. Arenado. This play by Nolan. 2 outs, and Michael Conforto, 2 for 3, will come up.
Well, a couple of 2 hops right here. Nolan playing it on the good hop, obviously. Got his feet underneath. Made the nice throw over to first. To retired. Flores.
This ball's well hit in center field by Conforto, and it is gone.
Bounced up double.
Did it bounce?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, bounced on
Lost
the
track of it out there, so it is a ground rule double. Conforto's got 3 hits today.
Yeah, the ball got hit pretty hard. I mean, it was up in the zone and allowed this young man, and I heard Michael Kadire rave about him. Hit this ball into left center. It bounces right on the track and up into the seats.
Anthony Recker, he doubled in a run in the 3rd inning. One and one on Recker. A team that's been struggling, the Angels, they've fallen out of wild card, the second wild card spot. They're getting beat up again today by Toronto, 11-5. Good pitch by Castro as he strikes out Recker. Conforto left at second base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It remains 5-1. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price, sales and service guaranteed. And by StubHub. Hey, Rockies fans, did you know the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Get the StubHub app today. Mets up 5-1. Simon Castro went 2 shutout innings in his Rockies debut out of the bullpen. And in the 8th inning, it'll be Dustin Garneau. Matt McBride's on deck to pinch hit for Castro, and then Charlie Blackmon. Logan Verrett is still out there. This has really turned into a remarkable performance for the 25-year-old, considering that his most recent appearance out of the bullpen, he pitched 1 inning. He threw 6 pitches against Baltimore. Prior to that, against the Dodgers in July, because he was down in AAA, he threw 41 pitches. This is in the ear to center. Cespedes waiting. And the 41 pitches were the most he's ever thrown with the Mets. Earlier this year, before being released by Texas, the most he threw in a game was 50 pitches. And here he is with his next delivery. It'll be number 90, and he's allowed just 1 run in Coors Field on 4 hits in the 8th inning. So McBride pinch hitting with 1 out in the 8th. That ball's loud off the bat, and Cespedes, did he make a shoestring catch? He did. That's a heck of a play by Yoenis Cespedes, who by the time he got the speed under control was all the way over in right field.
It's all about getting the break, being able to make the play, and he does it. Well, I tell you what, he's played left, played center, play anywhere in the outfield, and make plays like that. That's pretty nice.
Charlie Blackmon 2 outs in the 8th inning. Charlie a single. Fly ball to center field. He's hit by a pitch, and then Charlie's always aggressive. It's hard to fault a guy for being aggressive, but he has to pick his spots. On a base hit with 2 outs, and the Rockies down by 4 runs by Nolan in the 6th. He hesitated around second and tried to lull Conforto to sleep. Tried to go to third. Conforto threw him out, which ended the inning and prevented Ben Paulson from hitting with 2 on. No real advantage, even if he did get to third base, barring a wild pitch. I understand that, but you're in scoring position with 2 outs. This ball to left field, and Conforto will handle it. And another 1-2-3 inning for Logan Verrett. He's retired 6 in a row. We'll go to the 9th, 5-1 Mets.
back in school. And a tip of the cap to the kids of summer coming out to Coors Field and supporting the Rockies. It has been a rough weekend series against the New Yorkers, the Metropolitans. We'll get to the game summary on this one coming up in the Toyota postgame show. How about Carlos Gonzalez? Another 30 home run season. We'll run down some of the Rockies' 30 home run seasons, and we'll get you set for the Rockies road trip. They go to Atlanta next and then to Pittsburgh. They'll be on the road next week. We'll set you up for those series. When we come back, it's the Toyota postgame show. But first, we got the ninth inning, and we go back to Drew and George. Guys.
All right, Mark, appreciate it. Michael Kadire is going to pinch hit here, 9-1-2 for the Mets in the top of the ninth inning. And Jairo Diaz, who we saw in spring training, George, big arm, but the question with him is harnessing the big arm. 37 walks with the Isotopes in 55 innings.
He got a taste of the big leagues last year with the Angels, was traded for Josh Rutledge, who's now in the big leagues with the Boston Red Sox, starting every day at second base. He's going to handle 9-1-2, so he'll get Kadire as a pinch hitter. And then Granderson and Cespedes. Boy, how about Logan Perez? Man, oh man. Didn't anticipate that, did you?
I don't think anybody did. I don't think the Mets anticipated that. 8 innings of one-run baseball. The home run by Cargo, that's it. 3 other base hits. Two on Kadire. Darno hoping for an opportunity. He'll have one. Curtis Granderson, 1 for 3 and a walk. Fastball misses. 96 from Jairo Diaz. Been a ton of Mets fans here over the weekend. Been a lot to cheer about the last several years. They're sitting in first place by 4.5 right now.
Probably going to stay 5 if they can close this thing out. Washington's already won. Came in 5 up in the day. Chicago won again 9-3. Man, oh man, so bad you got it going, don't they? St. Louis a winner 8-1. Houston defeated the Dodgers again 3-2.
And Diaz strikes out Granderson.
Slider at 89 miles an hour. You know, a lot of late movement on it. Pretty nice coming right out of the hand of Diaz on the Subaru Supermo. A lot of bite on that slider caught by Dustin Garneau.
Cubs had a 4-game sweep of Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta going home to take on the Rockies.
The Cubs now, it's an interesting match. 71 and 51 right now. 6.5 back of the St. Louis Cardinals. Second time up and in on Cespedes. Kansas City a winner over Boston. Toronto over LA 12-5. The Angels that is. Two and 1. Oakland's all over Tampa 8-2.
longest winning season for the Mets, 2010. Last playoff appearance, 2006. Terry Collins' team will go to Philadelphia. So the Phils are a team in transition. Ryan Howard said the other day about he and Carlos Ruiz, Chooch, said we're the last two standing.
They gave a lot of long-term contracts. Veterans got old. They're trying to do the best they can to get rid of the contracts. Ruiz signed a 3-year deal just last year. He's got 1 to go, and I think Howard's got 4 or 5 to go. Ruben able to convince Utley to go on to the Dodgers. I thought Cespedes went around on the slider. He didn't. He'll get a 2-out walk. Did not go around on it. Drew just told me Howard's got 1 year left on the contract. I know it paid him what, about $200 million.
It was a 5-year, originally a 5-year, George, $125 million deal. So next year is the last year. There's a team option in 2017
with a pretty healthy buyout.
I guess when you get to 125, the buyout is pretty big. It's a $10 million buyout. That's pretty good, huh? That work?
Would make him pretty happy. Kid out of Missouri State, grew up in St. Louis.
Yeah, Daniel Murphy at the plate, and Murphy to first to end the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies trailing 5-1. Bottom of the 9th inning at Coors Field on a Sunday afternoon. The Rockies with a lot of work to do. They're down 5-1. They've been limited to 4 hits in the game. Some changes for the Mets defensively. In left field is Yoenis Cespedes. He moves from center, and their Gold Glove center fielder Juan Lagares takes over here in the 9th inning. And with Familia down, he's been pitching really well. Their closer, he pitched the first 2 ball games. They will go to Hansel Robles in the 9th this afternoon. It'll be DJ for the Rockies, then Cargo and Nolan. LeMahieu is 1 for 3 in the contest. A single back in the first inning. Blackman a single, LeMahieu a single, Cargo the home run to center, and Arenado a single. That's the entire offense for the Rockies this day, scoring 9 in each of the last 2. Fastball from Robles at 97, but it missed.
Missed with the breaking ball. 96-mile-an-hour heater. You got a 4-run lead. You come back with an 87-mile-an-hour slider for ball 2.
I always wondered about you guys down in that bullpen.
Tricky. Trick artist.
3-0.
Regardless of the stuff you have, the mentality of the last 3 outs of the inning of a ball game can be the most difficult, obviously.
And a 4-pitch walk. Terry Collins down in that dugout quickly took a big step up, stared down at his lineup card.
Yeah, Bobby Guerin is his bench coach. They're going to tell him not to hold on DJ LeMahieu at first base, which I understand, left-handed hitter. Going to play around behind him, but where you really allow TJ to get a great big move. Yeah, they know what they're doing. First place, 4.5-game lead. 4th inning, Cargo, the only run the Rockies have been able to put on the board, dead center field.
There's a strike. One ball, one strike. Outside. 2-2 on Carlos.
Well, where they had success today was elevated fastball way in the zone and a changeup. Robles' third best pitch is a changeup. That's not something he'll go to try to get Cargo and make a mistake and let him hit it out. His changeup's about 90 miles an hour. Up to the breaking ball.
1 out.
Now asking for it down, got it in and got it on the hands. A cutter more so than the breaking ball, and that little cut action under the hands of Cargo, and he gets a strikeout.
Away from Rector for a moment. Arenado a single in the 6th inning, 1 for 3. Moving up is DJ. Out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Arenado. Talked a lot about Chad Bettis, George, but it looks like Chad's going to start one of those games down in Atlanta, perhaps on Tuesday.
Yeah, good to see. Well, by putting it in, but they go to a little 6-man. I mean, all kinds of speculation. They could extend it out to a 6-man rotation if they wanted to, cut down the innings, buy more time for Gray all the time. Just see how it all works out. It's all speculation up to this point.
The Rockies hope going forward that Chad Bettis is a big part of the solution
well
for the Rockies in their rotation.
Pitched well in his AAA rehab the other day. Got extended out to 5 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts.
Gentleman on the left is Scotty Murayama, who is the rehab coordinator for the Rockies. And he does marvelous work getting guys healthy again.
Been pretty busy the last 2 years.
Yes, he has. 2-2 down the line. Uribe still gets Nolan at first, 2 gone, and that'll bring up Paulson. Paulson 0 for 3, couple strikeouts, a ground ball to first.
Amazing, after you walk the leadoff man and you're able to get the out, and it was a big one, that you can settle in and make some pretty good pitches. It's kind of ease the mind more than it is anything else.
Fouled off. 2 strikes on Ben Paulson.
I got a little bit of everything. Paulson, foul tip, off the glove, off the umpire, and back out front again.
Oh, 2. 1 and 2. Swung on and missed, and that ends the ball game. The Mets win it 5-1, and for the first time ever, the Mets sweep a series at Coors Field. Logan Verrett, the story, as he goes 8 innings, allowing just the home run to Cargo. 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 8, his first major league win. David Hale takes the loss. He falls to 3 and 5. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The work of Logan Verrett, the 25-year-old, this afternoon. He changed speeds well. He changed speeds with his fastball from 89 up to 93. Picking off his first big league victory. The whole reason he got the start is they wanted to push back the rotation, in particular Matt Harvey. That worked out well for the Mets. The Mets sweep the Rockies, and they improve to 67 and 56. The Rockies fall to 49 and 73 as they embark on a 6-game road trip that will take them through Atlanta on to Pittsburgh. Let's go out to our post-game set. The Toyota post-game show begins now with Mark Stout. Mark?
All right, Drew, thank you. I feel like Ben Paulson's been up to end games against guys throwing 99 like every other game.
And we were talking before the game, Matt Harvey missed his start. You almost wish that we would have seen Matt Harvey.
Exactly.
Verrett was way better.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Rockies were 2-7 on this homestand.
It's been a tough series. We've got the Toyota postgame show next.